You're not a smart man.
Well, you fell for it, dummy.
And we're live.
Are we? That's the way not to start it out.
That's not how you do it.
That's the Ryan
That's
method.
an
We're not going to do the
example
Ryan
of
method.
how not to do it, which we wanted to show
and
everyone.
that's a very important thing.
So that if they put on their own show,
every Friday we're going to have a learning lesson for
that's
everybody
right. It's
about
kind of
what
like
to do.
the old G.I. Joe episodes.
And now you know, and that's why you always leave a note.
The more you learn.
Hello, everyone. This is Between the Streams. This is our weekly podcast here at Digital Trends, where we talk about movies and television and everything in the world of that. We are going to fill you in on everything that's coming out over the next, weeks, months, this weekend. Lots of things to talk about. And we also want to recap what's kind of gone on over the last week, in particular with all of the Comic-Con trailers that have come out. And we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and or Periscope and Twitch, and also as a podcast. So we would love for you to hit subscribe on that podcast button. I'm Greg Nibbler.
Ryan Juanita.
And our main question that we led off with today was just talking about how many different trailers came out from Comic-Con over this last week. I mean, we saw things from Godzilla, and we're going to go in depth on some of these too, but Godzilla, Venom, Aquaman, lots of things.
Well, we never got Venom, unfortunately.
Well, but we found out some more information from Venom. So not necessarily a trailer, but we did find out more news.
Yeah, well, I had to stipulate that because I'm really mad that they haven't released, because some people have seen Venom, but we still haven't seen it go on the internet. They've locked it down, and that's really annoying because I want to see some more Venom. That was the thing I was most excited about.
Somebody is going to leak it. I mean, it's going to come out at some point.
Well, you would think so, but it's still not out.
It's still not out. Okay, well, Ryan's mad about that.
Yeah,
so if you have a secret copy, send that to podcast.
We can't all just whisk away to San Diego, Greg.
Right, exactly. So, but our question, though, being, what were you most excited about? So as we go through the show, go ahead and drop that in there into the comments. Let us know, what you're excited about, what you were disappointed with, and we'll kind of give you a recap, too, of everything that came out over this last week, especially for Comic-Con. But let's talk about this weekend first, before we get into that, for a movie that I know you are very excited about.
I am excited.
You have been excited for months. I know of no one else more excited than you.
Well, actually, I know about 140 people that are pretty excited about it. They all turned in amazing reviews for it on Rotten Tomatoes, and only 4 didn't like it.
All right.
So it's not too shabby.
Maybe I could be
wrong. This is coming to be, it's shaping up to be the action movie of the summer, which, a lot of people thought, it's the 6th movie in the Mission Impossible rebooted franchise. But then old Tom Cruise goes out there and jumps out of planes and rides motorcycles into cabs on purpose.
Cruise. He's running and he's jumping.
And there's like 50 action scenes in this thing. This is like it's having like a Die Hard impact here. It's sort of action coming back to practical effects, and that's a lot of things that we've been missing. We were just talking about this before the show. It's fun to have a movie out there that doesn't end in complete explosion of CG effects at the end, which is something we've talked about for a lot of movies, especially the DC movies tend to do that. Even Wonder Woman, which I enjoyed, sort of ended in sort of a kaleidoscope of CG effects. Yeah. And so it's fun to get something practical. And Tom Cruise is out there sacrificing his body for our summer fun.
So he does do all of his stunts?
A very large portion, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if he does every single thing, but like when you saw him in the last movie holding onto a plane, that wasn't CG. He was actually holding onto a plane.
Do you have a poster of Tom Cruise up at home?
Yes. You know what's funny? I was thinking I didn't, and that was sarcasm. Wait, now I'm remembering that my friend got me this really cheesy cartoon of Tom Cruise. It's like a caricature of him flying in a Top Gun airplane. And it's not up in my new house because I just moved, but it was up in my old house. Sort of sarcastically, but yeah.
Wow, I cannot believe I called that.
When I was a kid, Top Gun and Days of Thunder were pretty much the only things I cared about.
Well, now you have Mission Impossible Fallout.
It's pretty good. To that Look, I know Tom Cruise is a weird dude, but he makes good movies.
Yes. We all know your love of Tom Cruise. It's very apparent. No, but that's great. So Mission Impossible Fallout, I mean, it's getting amazing reviews. Yeah. It's out this weekend.
And to be fair, I didn't like some of the Mission Impossibles. I liked the first one. I thought it was fun. It's not. It's a flawed movie. The second one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that's kind of fun in its own right. But I feel like they've actually been getting better as it goes on, which is something you don't see very often.
Yeah, and I will give it another shot. I'll say this.
I mean,
it's been
I
a long
this
time since I've watched one.
Yeah.
But I will give Mission Impossible Fallout a shot. Do you have to be caught up on the other ones to watch this?
Well, it is sort of this one's sort of a sequel to Rogue Nation, whereas the other ones sort of have more contained stories. But look, man, it's just a bunch of explosions. I think you're going to be fine.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Like, you might not have like the deeper context of some of the characters, but I don't think that's going to ruin the time.
It's not going to matter. It's Tom Cruise jumping out of a plane.
Exactly. Okay. Probably. I don't know what he's doing.
All right. Well, just kind of going over what the weekend box office is here before we circle back around to Comic-Con, talking about our favorite things from Comic-Con. And maybe you have some favorites, some least favorites, whatever they are. Let us know in the chat for wherever you're watching. And I'm taking a look here now. We've got some comments coming through talking about it. So, Star Trek Discovery. So we're going to get into those here in just a second. One other thing, though, for the box office before we do that, Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, if you're taking the kids to the movies, I think this is the one you're going to go to. Will Arnett, Kristen Bell star, and a bunch of really well-known voice actors are in this one. It's a pretty popular series with the kids, and it's getting great reviews. People say it's a really fun movie. So if you're looking for something to take your kids to, this is probably the one.
Teen Titans Go to the movies.
If you haven't already seen Incredibles 2.
Yes, you're still on. Yep, Incredibles 2.
That's a heck of a time.
That one, yeah, definitely. So that's gotten amazing reviews as well. So there's kind of just giving you what's coming out for the box office for this weekend. Now, going back to Comic-Con, a lot of stuff to kind of get through here. We're going to talk about some of the trailers, but I guess before we do that, Venom, we didn't get the trailer. That's what we were talking about. So a little bit disappointing on that end, but we did find out some more information, which at least verified a couple of things. One of those is who the villain is going to be, and it is going to be Riot. So Riot, also a symbiote.
Yeah.
Okay. I almost said it wrong.
Symbiote.
All right. Either way, it's
one of those.
One of those, an alien, and that's going to be the villain that Venom is going to be taking on, played by Riz Ahmed. So that's at least clarifying that a little bit more.
Yeah, and he's the scientist that has the stuff that Tom Hardy gets a hold of. So it made, that wasn't a big leap to think that he's going to use
he's going to be
on his own.
Right.
It's kind of the Iron Man formula or something like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense. The other thing that we found out a little bit more of, and this was from a Woody Harrelson interview. So we do know Woody Harrelson's going to be in the Venom movie, and there's been a lot of speculation about what his role is, and I guess he's signed on for the next movie. And what he explained was that he's not going to have a huge role in the Venom movie that's coming out, but did specifically say that he's going to have a big role in the next movie. And it's being speculated that he's going to be playing probably Cletus Cassidy.
And he says he hasn't even read the script. He's like,
he hasn't even read the script.
I'm just rolling the dice.
That's what Woody Harrelson can do now. He doesn't even have to read the script. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, a superhero movie? That's probably going to make some money.
Cool. Yeah, so the speculation is he'll be Cletus Cassidy, which is a serial killer who then becomes Carnage, who is the villain, a frequent villain of Venom.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah, so Woody Harrelson playing a serial killer too, that just kind of makes sense.
You'd think you'd get tired of him, but he always brings something good to the role. It doesn't matter. And I always like him. He can lead a movie, but he doesn't often do that. He's often better just being like a really colorful side character.
Yeah.
He brings a lot to it. So
yeah, absolutely. So Venom, that's some of the news we got on that. I'm taking a look at the chat here. I'm seeing Shazam, one of the favorite trailers, and that's right.
Yeah.
Shazam did have a trailer that came out.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know the story that well, so.
I didn't know they were going to go with quite the comedy route.
Yeah.
That they seem to be going with it.
Yeah.
But it looks like it could be a fun movie. And
it's an interesting character, yeah.
And that was, let's see, taking a look here. Who was saying that? Rebecca was saying Shazam is the thing that most excited about. But
I think Glass might have been the thing that was the coolest that I saw.
Just
right from the start, and we both wrote independently the same thing. Sarah Paulson just like brings that trailer. We don't know what the movie's going to be like, but that trailer was really got me.
The trailer is really good.
Anything Sarah Paulson's in, I'll watch. First of all, but she's just immediately she's a psychotherapist who works specifically on people who think they are superheroes.
Yeah.
And it's all three of them sat down in front of her. It's just a really good start, and it looks like this movie's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and Glass, kind of the third one to the trilogy that we didn't know was a trilogy originally of Unbreakable.
I don't know that
Split.
M. Night Shyamalan
he might
either
not
did.
Yeah, he's just kind of put them together there into this. So, but we did finally get that trailer though of Glass, Samuel L. Jackson being the villain that he's supposed to be, and it looks really good. If you like this series, or if you like M. Night Shyamalan's movies, then you'll probably be into this. I'm definitely excited about it.
Yeah.
So
and then there was one that I think is really, really stupid looking. And guess what? It's the DC movie.
Let's get to the stupid one.
Oh,
So this is
man.
what Ryan thinks. Here's
Okay.
where Ryan rants
Let me
on
just
something.
say, first of all, Manta is sweet. It's really cool. He's basically just Cyclops, but I like seeing somebody shoot lasers at a building and it explodes. That was awesome.
Okay, wait, slow down. So in this Aquaman trailer,
Yeah.
in case you haven't seen it, a lot of it is Aquaman, going down into
It's
the
basically
aqua
The
world.
Little Mermaid. It looks like a live action The Little Mermaid. In fact, I bet Disney
Ryan,
is
tell us what you
mad
really think.
because they're going to make a live action Little Mermaid and it's going to look exactly like this.
Well, a lot of that is because Amber Heard's
Heard
character
looks like
does look like
But I don't
Ariel.
even mean that. I just mean while they're underwater, it looks very fanciful and to me just really cheesy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've made no bones about me not being a fan of the DCEU, and this looks like another flaw, another bad one.
I'll say this: the underwater world looks a little Jar Jar Binks-ish.
It really does. That's another great comparison.
It looks
Absolutely.
a little like
it's
that.
Little Mermaid meets Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, and then as though DC's trying to create their own kind of a Thor vibe with the brother.
Yeah,
versus
you said
brother.
that. I didn't think of that until you said it, but I get what you mean. It's like
Yeah.
Thor underwater, but
It's
Thor
like,
was
oh, it's a different
cool.
world.
But Thor looked cool.
Yeah.
This does not visually, aesthetically strike me as cool.
Which sucks because I like Aquaman. Like, I want this to be good. I think it's interesting to finally have him in his own movie like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's looking pretty cheesy right now.
I'm not a fan.
It's looking pretty cheesy. Edward just said, "My God, that looks dumb."
It looks so dumb. And it's too bad because Manta looks cool. Maybe we should just have him in a movie.
You are
'cause
very excited about Manta.
he does look rad.
Yeah, going back to some of the other comments that we had, Travis on YouTube just said Samuel L. Jackson is great in any movie that he plays. That's kind of true. He'll also be
good.
in any movie.
Yeah, but he's been in
He'll
a lot of
take
bad
any
movies,
movies.
but he's
Yeah.
usually good in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame him. It's just like, you got to check? Okay.
You could blame him, but he's fine.
If we paid enough, we could have him here right now.
He's good enough so people don't blame him. That's
yeah, exactly.
How it works.
So Aquaman. So just kind of again going over some of our favorite things and least favorite things maybe from Comic-Con. So we had the news about Venom, the Glass trailer, great. Aquaman, Discovery though. Going back to talking about that.
That looks rad. And Christopher Pike in the house.
Christopher Pike.
He looks great. I'm excited about this, man. It's sweet.
I'm gonna take a clip of you.
Is that
saying,
the nerdiest
"Christopher
thing
Pike
ever?
in the house."
Is that the nerdiest thing ever?
That could be the nerdiest thing you've ever said on this
Yeah,
show.
that might be. You're right. We should probably put that in the vault.
Christopher Pike in the
If you could
house.
have that on a button, yeah.
Yes, I
kind of
may-
the way I said it too
I
was
may
really
have to get
cheesy.
that. Yeah, it was
I like
brilliant.
it. Well, we still need to get sound effects.
Well, so Discovery Season 2, we did get the trailer on this and seeing a little bit more of what's going on with it, and yeah, it looks really fun.
But in all seriousness, I really like Christopher Pike's character, especially in the new Star Trek movies. He's just a cool dude, and so it's fun to see him incorporated. This whole season just looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
More aliens, more adventure.
Yeah, cooler, cool looking aliens too.
We didn't think CBS was gonna be able to pull this off, but what do we know? I mean, they pulled $12 million to their streaming service, essentially on the back of this Star Trek series that Brian Fuller put together and then left, but apparently didn't leave fully because he helped. We then find out, there was all this like shaking up and it kept getting pushed back.
Weird stuff,
and then we found
this.
out that Brian Fuller actually kind of stayed on for some of the production. He seems like he's still got a hand in it.
Yeah,
and it turned out to be a pretty darn good first season. And now, as far as I'm concerned, from what we've seen in the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a very good second season. So
yeah. I'm excited.
I'll give it up. CBS figured it out, man.
Yep, it's looking great. Yep. So again, going through the different things from Comic-Con, Godzilla. This is, I think, kind of the final one we want to talk about with Comic-Con, and then we got a bunch of Netflix news and other kinds of things to talk about. But the Godzilla trailer, and we wanted to show this last week, but it didn't come out until later on. I think it looks fun.
It's pretty action-packed.
It's action-packed. It's very Godzilla-y.
It's very, very big. They went big, yeah. He's a big monster. There's a lot of big scenes.
Right. And in case you don't know, this is the one where Godzilla is going to face off against Mothra.
And Mothra
Rodan,
looks really cool.
And probably
does not look like the Mothra I remember.
Yeah. Mothra looks awesome. And it's probably kind of the lead into the Godzilla King Kong team up movie.
Right.
I'm gonna guess. I don't know if there's one in between them.
It's hard to say how far they're going to build this world before they.
Yeah, and in case you don't know, because everything's got to be a movie universe now. So Godzilla and King Kong are going to meet up and
in a monster universe. Yeah,
in a monster universe. It looks fun. It's May 31st, 2019, so it's still going to be a while till we get to see it.
Yeah, that's a ways, but I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah. So
I'll watch anything with big monsters in it.
You will. Yep. Big monsters or Tom Cruise. Sign Ryan up.
Okay, now it's starting to get weird.
He's on board. Throw him in that best movie ever.
Oh boy.
All right. Couple other things.
My wife still hasn't seen Jerry Maguire. Kind of came out in like a weird time for her. And that's not the best movie, but like I kind of feel like she has to see it.
How many Tom Cruise movies do you own?
I don't own Jerry Maguire. That's all we need to say. That's all we need to say. I used to own Days of Thunder as a kid. I bought it on VHS at Hastings Video. Do you guys ever had that?
No, we didn't have
like
Hastings.
A small chain in Montana area.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have it at Hastings.
That was a big pickup for me.
It's a big deal.
Didn't have a lot of media
in my life.
Didn't have a lot of media back then. Nicole Kidman. She was looking good.
At some point, I think we need to do a Tom Cruise quiz for you. Like, we'll have listeners send in Tom Cruise questions.
I think I've seen every Tom Cruise movie.
If you're watching live and you have Tom Cruise trivia you want to ask Ryan, we'll just try this out. Go ahead and drop it in there, and we'll see if Ryan can answer anything that you have.
I'll see what I can do.
Travis on YouTube just said the Godzilla movie is miles way better than the '98 version.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's definitely true. So we'll see what comes of it. But still, if you have more comments, questions about Comic-Con, drop those in there. But we do have some more things that are going on.
And the most important thing, obviously, today, the Charlie's Angels reboot. That's kind of broke the internet when that came out.
Charlie's Angel is getting a reboot of a
second reboot.
And the new movie, it's going to be a movie franchise with Elizabeth Banks directing, producing, and co-writing.
I do like Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, and starring. She's also going to be in it. She's going to play who's the person who sends them out on their missions.
Well,
Bosley.
Yeah, Bosley is a guy, but now it's not anymore, and that's fine.
Well, she's playing Bosley.
Uh-huh.
So
it used to be Bill Murray, and then before that, it was just some dude on a tape or on a recording. But
okay. I don't know. Well, either way.
Not on a recording.
Kristen Stewart's going to be in it, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinska. So it's going to be a whole franchise, I'm sure, is going to come up out of this. So that's...
I'm going to say that this is going to totally fall flat. Nobody's going to watch this.
I think with Elizabeth Banks, I think people will watch it.
That's what they said about Pitch Perfect 3.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
This isn't going to work.
I think
I'm calling it.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Well, I've been wrong before. CBS All Access.
It's been occasion. On occasion. All right. So anyway, we had that. Let's get on to some Netflix stuff, though. Because Netflix, and I posted something on Twitter earlier today just talking about this because every time you open up Netflix, there's like 4 new movies and 3 new series that you've never seen, and
I think they
just show up out of nowhere.
50 new original titles came out.
Yeah.
In this, for August or something like that.
I mean, just crazy. And I've got 2 for you that I have watched. One good and one I'm going to absolutely recommend you don't watch. The one I'm going to recommend you do watch is called Dark Tourist.
Yeah, this is getting a lot of buzz.
It's really great. It's a series on Netflix, a documentary style series, and it's with this guy, and let me get his name right, journalist David Farrier, and he's from New Zealand, and he travels around the world going to odd vacation spots. And what I mean by that are like dark places that people go to travel, like a war zone or going to Fukushima. You can go to Fukushima and go in there, even though you're exposed to radiation. They'll lead you on a tour in there.
Because you can be exposed to a certain amount of radiation.
A certain amount, but if you watch the episode, it's real sketchy how they're getting away with it. And it's almost like they're dodging the police to do this. And
I would not go there.
It's going on these crazy different places. He goes to Mexico and hangs out with the Santa Muerte people, which are the people who worship, basically the angel of death. And it's a really, really fascinating series. And he approaches, I think his approach is one of the things I like the most, because he doesn't sit there and just be like, go along with everything and get excited about it. He'll sit there and tell them like, this is really messed up. Yeah. Like, this is messed up. Don't you think this is weird? Like what you're doing? Some of it is really strange. Like the people infatuated with Jeffrey Dahmer and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll call him out on it, but it's a really interesting series.
That kind of sounds like that Bill Maher movie, Religulous, where he went around and talked to a bunch of religious people and just sort of like he engaged with them politely, but basically said, I think this is, total BS. And like
maybe not quite that far.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, it kind of has the way you're describing it. It seems like it's got a very interesting connection there.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's definitely very dark. There's some dark matter that they talk about in this thing, but I think it's dark matter. But it's a Dark Tourist. I fully recommend that. The other one that I watched this last week is a movie called How It Ends, And for me, it looks like it's right up my alley because it's an apocalyptic movie. It's out on Netflix right now. It's got Forrest Whitaker. It looks okay. It looks like something I would love.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it too much. It is an apocalyptic movie. I will say this: at the end of the movie, I was just mad. I was mad that I had wasted 2 hours.
The same way you felt about 2012.
I would watch 2012 over this.
Okay.
I would recommend 2012 over this movie.
All right.
I would recommend San Andreas over this movie.
Oh, that's a big one.
Because the ending just made me
really
so
hate San
angry.
Andreas.
I hate San Andreas. I mean, it's how it ends to me was a waste of 2 hours.
All right.
And and it's got everything that I should like, but that's all I'll say. Watch it if you want, but don't be surprised if you're pissed off at the end.
Fair enough.
There it is. That's my rant for the day. Good. So a couple other things that Netflix is picking up. There's another series that they snagged called Lock and Key. And Lock and Key might be kind of familiar to some people if you've followed along with it over the years, because I guess they've been trying to get this thing to series since like 2010.
Wow.
And Steven Spielberg was involved at one point. Fox picked it up and then dropped it. And then Hulu picked it up for a pilot and then dropped it. And now
sounds like a real winner.
And then Netflix said, we'll give you 10 episodes. So Netflix came in and just bought the entire thing. So we don't have I have a trailer from the old original one that we can show if you're watching live. And, I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. So basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a horror fantasy series that revolves around 3 siblings who, after the gruesome murder of their father, moved to their ancestral home in Maine, only to find the house has magical keys that give them an array of powers. Little do they know that a devious demon also wants the keys and will stop at nothing to attain them. So, sounds a little CW-ish, but at the same time, Lock and Key. So they're picking up that one. So that's one of the shows that they've got.
Yeah, I could see this coming on after Charmed.
Yes. Yeah.
If Charmed was still on.
Well, everybody dropped it except for Netflix. So there's that. They also picked up Daybreak, which Daybreak is another graphic novel that they're turning into a 10-episode series. And it's based on Brian Ralph's graphic novel. And it's essentially it's about a 17-year-old high school outcast who goes searching for his missing girlfriend, Sam, in a post-apocalyptic Glendale, California. So there's like zombies and there's Mad Max kind of things, all while he's going to high school.
All right.
So
that sounds kind of fun.
It sounds interesting. Something to check out. So again, just kind of going through some of the different things that Netflix acquired.
They
buy everything.
They could Clockwork Orange you for 4 months and show you new Netflix series, and you'd never get through it.
No, never. You would never do it. You would never do it. It's
pretty rough.
Oh wait, written by Stephen King's son. Oh, are you talking about is Daybreak written by Stephen King's son? Because that's pretty cool. Okay, that would be. I'll have to double check this. And I'm just kind of looking at this, and that's why we appreciate. Yeah, you write in the comments. So if I'm wrong on that,
not verified, but if
not
so,
verified, but yeah, if, Chris, if you want to verify that would be great. Take a look here. It's, one other thing that Netflix did acquire also. So they seem to be a Lock and Key was written by Stephen King's son. Okay, well that gives a little more credence. Netflix picking up Warner Brothers movie, Mowgli.
Netflix got it?
Netflix got it.
So it's not going to go to theaters.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is Andy Serkis and his adaptation of The Jungle Book, only it's, live action mixed with CGI. It's a lot darker than The Jungle Book. I think it might even be, I don't know what it's rated, but it's
a lot darker than the live action Disney movie that just came out.
Yeah.
Is what or just in general.
Just in general. Like a much more
well, because the original Jungle Book came out in the early,
20s, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that, yeah.
And then Disney came in and Disneyfied it as they like to. Mm-hmm. So this is more like drawing from the very original story. Yeah.
Right, more to the actual source material. But it was going to be a big Warner Brothers release on October 19th in theaters. Netflix snagged it.
That is very interesting. I would like to have been in the boardroom when that went down. Like, it sounds like Warner Brothers just abandoned ship.
Kind of. Yeah, well, I think
I don't know how much Netflix offered for it, but
I don't know if it says on here what they offered, but yeah, they snagged it, and so now it's going to debut sometime in 2019 on Netflix. So it will not go to the theater.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, maybe Warner Brothers decided we don't want to deal with this.
Well, Andy Serkis still has his day job, being every important CG character that exists.
He's going to be all right. He's going to be all right.
But maybe it'll be good. Who knows? I mean, Netflix likes to buy, any movie they think they can get their hands on.
Everything. Exactly. That means good and bad.
Exactly.
All right. So there's what we kind of have for Netflix, just of newer stuff that's coming out and what we've known. We do have some HBO news.
Yeah.
to get to, and we'll circle back around and talk about Comic-Con a little bit more too. So if you have any comments, questions about that, go ahead and drop those into the chat. But HBO, big news this week, the Game of Thrones prequel will begin filming next year. So same year that the last season comes out of the regular Game of Thrones, they'll start filming for the Game of Thrones prequel, which means we'll see it in like 15 years. But
and do we know anything about the plot yet?
We do. I
think we talked about this before, but I wasn't sure if it was actually solidified by the studio or anything.
Yeah. So it's pretty solidified as far as what it's going to be, generally what it's going to be about. Because there were 5 different scripts that were written for prequel series or spin-off series.
Now I'm remembering.
And so it was a competition, and the winner, her script, her series is this. So it's going to be set thousands of years before the events that we saw in the last television series. So there won't be any of the same characters showing up. It's going to be Bran the Builder, Lan the Cleaver, the Grey King. It sounds like they're teasing like the origins of the Nightwalkers, and all of that stuff.
And that just makes sense. That is really the backstory of Game of Thrones. So if you're going to do a prequel, I mean, what else are you going to do?
It means you can probably throw in a lot more dragons and monsters.
Absolutely,
and things too.
Yeah. And the winter's coming can still be a thing, and yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah. So all of that's for the Game of Thrones prequel. Also, I just have to talk about this because if you have HBO, you'll probably be seeing trailers for it. They picked up The Shop, starring LeBron James and Maverick Carter.
You sound excited.
LeBron James. So it's...
Well, he has a production company.
He does.
Yeah.
Their production company is called Uninterrupted.
Right.
And Maverick Carter's his agent and
okay, gotcha.
Cohort. They're business partners. It all takes place in a barber shop, and it's just him sitting and having conversations with different people.
It's an interview show. Okay.
It's like a conversation show.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. So
I mean, he's a pretty interesting dude.
We'll see. Jon Stewart, Snoop Dogg's in a bunch of them. Candace Parker, Draymond Green apparently shows up. Alvin Kamara. So
this looks like something that, like, if it comes on, you would watch it, but you wouldn't seek it out.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how that turns out, but you will be seeing some of that. And also, The Deuce is back on September 9th.
I'm very much looking forward to that. The first one was really compelling, and some of the best dialogue I've seen on TV in a long time, because it's from the guys from The Wire, obviously. So I really enjoyed that first season. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It's really dark, and it gets a little slow in the middle there, but it's got like a Sopranos thing going on, and
it's enough to bring me back.
Stuff. Yeah,
like I'll absolutely come back and watch it. So The Deuce, September 9th, you can watch that. And the last thing before we just circle back around here to wrap up for the day, kind of our Between the Cracks. If you haven't seen this series, it's called Wrecked. Yeah. It's on TBS. It's not like the greatest thing in the world, but it's pretty super funny.
Fun. Yeah, it's like really laid back. Especially for something that's about people being marooned on an island.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like a plane crash, but it's really, really funny people. They're all stuck on it. It's like a satirical version of Lost. And then strange stuff happens. They're all kind of idiots, and some of them, want to take charge of everybody else and become king of the island. And it's just a fun series.
And it's got a lot of sort of lesser known but really funny people, like comedians and stuff on it too. So it's a good show.
Yep. So that's season 3 is coming out Tuesday, August 7th on TBS. All right. So circling back to the top, Comic-Con, favorite things. So your favorite thing was Glass?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Venom stuff will eventually make its way, and then I reassess. But I really enjoyed that Glass trailer.
I think the news about Venom...
I really enjoyed the Discovery trailer too. So
yeah, Discovery looks really good. I think the news about Venom actually was really kind of cool. It gets me a little more excited just thinking about Woody Harrelson.
It's starting to look more and more interesting, and if everything locked in with the talent that they have, and if the script is good enough, this could be a really surprising hit, I think. I guess we'll just have to wait for it. But Tom Hardy, he's a pretty good actor.
He's pretty good. He's all right. He's all right. So that's what we're kind of recapping there, a little bit of Comic-Con, and just bringing you up to date on everything that's happening in the world of movies and entertainment. And we do the show live every Friday at noon Pacific time on all of Digital Trends social media outlets. We've got articles on pretty much everything that we talked about up at digitaltrends.com. So make sure you go there and check everything out there. And most importantly, hit subscribe. from the Between the Streams podcast.
Take us along.
Yes, take us along with you for your weekend, for your Friday afternoon. We will let you know what's going on.
Sounds kind of creepy.
It does the way
we want to come along to your weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be with you right there, wherever you are. Recommend Dark Tourist. Check that out. That's my recommendation for the week.
All right.
Any final thoughts?
I'm going to go see Mission Impossible. That's about it.
I know you are.
That's about it. That got really weird with Tom Cruise.
Send us your Tom Cruise questions
I
for
didn't
Ryan.
realize I was such a big fan.
Podcast at digitaltrends.com. See if you can stump Ryan. We'll have to do a separate video for that.
Next week, Scientology.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode.